For many people, Tisha Campbell will always be remembered as the woman who made them laugh. Whether through beloved sitcoms or memorable television roles, she became one of the most familiar faces of a generation, bringing warmth, humor, and energy into millions of homes. To audiences, she seemed to be living the kind of Hollywood life that many people only dream about. But life away from the cameras told a different story. At one point, Tisha found herself facing a reality she never expected.
I was in this business since I was 3 years old. And when I had to start over, and when I left, I had to go from ground zero, complete zero, complete nothing.
Those are powerful words coming from someone who had already spent decades in the entertainment industry. Yet instead of allowing those setbacks to define her, Tisha chose to rebuild. Today, at 57, she is still moving forward, still working, still creating, still standing on her own terms in California with the same determination that carried her through every difficult chapter before. Some stars are admired for what they accomplish on screen. Others are respected for how they rise after life knocks them down. Tisha Campbell belongs to both groups. So what does everyday life look like for the beloved sitcom star who refused to let adversity write the final chapter of her story? These days, Tisha Campbell's life in California seems to be built around something she values more than fame: freedom. Whether attending major industry events, performing comedy, acting, or sharing candid moments online, Tisha projects the energy of a woman who has learned how to enjoy life on her own terms. One recent example came at the 2025 BET Awards in Los Angeles. According to People, she confidently walked the red carpet in a burgundy leather gown, proudly embracing a mommy makeover that she chose simply because it made her feel better about herself. It was not about chasing youth or pleasing anyone else. It was about confidence, self-care, and feeling comfortable in her own skin. Away from the spotlight, much of her life revolves around family. As a single mother, Tisha spent years prioritizing her children above career opportunities. Speaking with Essence, she explained, "I didn't take jobs outside of California because my kids are based here. For a long time, I didn't take jobs, and it probably hurt my career. Raising them was more important than anything else." Those choices shaped the life she lives today. Now that her sons are older, she has more freedom to explore new opportunities. She continues acting in projects such as Not Another Church Movie, Operation, Aunties, Be Happy, and various voice roles, while also embracing stand-up comedy through her Gina tour. Social media has become another outlet for her personality. Through Instagram and TikTok, she shares humorous everyday moments, reflections on motherhood, personal growth, and the occasional glimpse into life with her family. The woman audiences once knew from sitcoms now feels more relatable than ever. However, details about her current whereabouts remain private, which seems to be intentional. After years of financial struggles, public scrutiny, and a difficult divorce, Tisha appears to value peace more than publicity. Home has become less about luxury and more about comfort, healing, and rebuilding. To achieve the composure and self-assured demeanor she possesses today at the age of 57, how were the roots of Tisha's talent honed from a young age? For Tisha Campbell, performing was never just a career choice. It was part of her life from the very beginning. Raised in a family deeply connected to music, she grew up surrounded by gospel influences. Her mother, Mona Shockley, worked as a vocal coach and talent manager, while other relatives had performed alongside gospel legend Mahalia Jackson. Music was not something Tisha discovered later. It was already woven into the fabric of her childhood. Even as a little girl, she knew exactly what she wanted. According to Encyclopedia, Tisha once recalled, "My parents never forced me to go on auditions. I begged them to take me." That determination showed up early. She entered local talent competitions, won numerous contests, and even earned a Ford Granada as one of her first major prizes. Rather than being pushed toward entertainment, She was the one pushing the adults around her to help make it happen. By age 6, she was already appearing on television through PBS's The Big Blue Marble, performing alongside her younger brother. Soon came appearances on children's programs such as Kids Are People Too and Captain Kangaroo. Her schedule became increasingly demanding. At 12, she was performing on Broadway and singing the national anthem at Giants Stadium. In a 2022 interview highlighted by Nicki Swift, Tisha shared, "Mom taught me to sing, and Dad taught me to harmonize." She also taught herself to dance by studying performers she admired on television. Legends such as Lena Horne, Bing Crosby, and Pearl Bailey became her unofficial teachers. Yet behind those opportunities was a family facing real financial hardship.
I knew that I had this gift that God had given me as a child of how incredibly poor we really were. I mean, we was eating mayonnaise sandwiches for breakfast, lunch, and dinner sometimes.
Those experiences never discouraged her. If anything, they strengthened her resolve. While many children were enjoying ordinary childhoods, Tisha was balancing rehearsals, auditions, travel, and performances. She sacrificed free time and comfort, but she never lost her love for the arts. By her late teens, that dedication was already paying off. She landed stage and screen roles, including the role of Chiffon in Little Shop of Horrors, alongside her longtime friend Tichina Arnold. And those years of discipline, sacrifice, and relentless passion would soon open the door to the career-defining roles that made Tisha Campbell a household name across America. That moment arrived in 1992. When Tisha Campbell was cast as Gina Waters Payne in Martin, few could have predicted just how iconic the character would become. As the intelligent, confident, and loving partner of Martin Payne, played by Martin Lawrence, Gina quickly became one half of one of the most memorable sitcom couples of the 1990s. Week after week, audiences welcomed her into their homes. What made Gina special was that she felt real. She was funny without trying too hard, strong without being harsh, and independent while still deeply caring. Tisha brought warmth and authenticity to the role, creating the perfect balance for Martin Lawrence's larger-than-life comedic energy. The chemistry between the two stars became one of the driving forces behind the show's success. Over time, Martin grew into one of the most influential black sitcoms of its era, helping shape the cultural memories of an entire generation. Even decades later, fans still quote the show's famous catchphrase, "Damn Gina!" Few television lines have enjoyed that kind of staying power. But Tisha was far from finished. Less than a decade later, she stepped into another role that would further cement her place in television history. In 2001, she joined Damon Wayans in My Wife and Kids as Janet J. Kyle, the witty and strong-willed mother at the heart of the family. Once again, audiences connected with her instantly. While Gina represented a young woman building a life and relationship, J. Kyle showcased a different side of Tisha's talent. She portrayed a devoted wife and mother with humor, patience, intelligence, and impeccable comedic timing. Whether delivering a sharp comeback or handling family chaos, she made the character feel relatable and genuine. The performance earned her the NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Actress in a Comedy Series in 2003 and introduced her to a new generation of viewers. By this point, Tisha had accomplished something few actors ever achieve. She had created not one, but two beloved television characters that audiences continued to cherish long after the shows ended. What made her success even more remarkable was her versatility. She was never simply a sitcom actress. Singing, acting, dancing, and later stand-up comedy all became part of her creative identity. Her career demonstrated that talent could not be confined to a single category. For many viewers, Gina and Jay felt like family. For many young black actresses, Tisha became proof that longevity in Hollywood was possible. By the mid-2000s, she had everything many performers dream of: career success, public admiration, and a place in television history. Yet some of the most difficult chapters of her story were still waiting ahead. In 1996, she married actor Dwayne Martin, and together they raised 2 sons while navigating the demands of Hollywood. From the outside, it looked like a lasting success story. But behind closed doors, the reality was far more complicated. After more than 2 decades together, the marriage began to unravel. What followed was a long and emotionally draining divorce process that was not finalized until 2020. Along the way came financial disputes, public scrutiny, and the difficult task of rebuilding a life she had spent years creating alongside someone else. Looking back, Tisha has spoken openly about having to remove the mask she wore for so long and confront difficult truths about herself, her relationships, and the future she wanted to build. As she reflected in interviews, including discussions featured on, healing required honesty, even when that honesty was painful. The financial challenges were equally devastating. In 2016, Tisha and Dwayne filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, reporting debts exceeding $15 million. The headlines alone were overwhelming, but the reality behind them was even harder. Tisha later revealed that there were moments when she had only a handful of dollars left to her name, at one point just $21, and at another only $7 in her account. For someone who had spent decades working in television, it was a humbling experience, but it was also a turning point. Rather than allowing those circumstances to define her, she chose to start again. The greatest source of motivation came from her children. As a single mother raising 2 sons, including her son Zen, who is on the autism spectrum, Tisha found a purpose greater than her own struggles. She often describes her children as warriors and credits them with giving her the strength to keep moving forward when everything felt uncertain. That love became the foundation of her upcoming book, The A Word, 2026. Speaking with people, she shared words that reveal the depth of that journey. Every battle I fought, every door I kicked down, every night I cried, but refused to surrender was for one reason: my son, Zen. She continued, "This book is my heart, my fight, and my testimony. Because my son didn't just need a mother. He needed a warrior, and Zen made me both." Those words capture the woman Tisha became during this chapter of her life. Not a victim of hardship, a fighter. Instead of retreating, she embraced reinvention. She focused on healing, prioritized her mental health, explored stand-up comedy, and began creating a life that reflected who she truly was rather than who others expected her to be. In recent years, she has often spoken about learning to put herself first after decades of placing everyone else ahead of her own needs. The storms did not disappear overnight, but little by little, she found her footing again. And after surviving losses that might have broken many people, Tisha Campbell proved that resilience can be just as powerful as talent. What makes her story remarkable today is that she did not simply survive those difficult years. She found a way to thrive again. Many performers spend their later careers looking back at their greatest successes. Tisha, however, continues to move forward. At 57, she is not living on memories from the Martin era or relying solely on the popularity of past sitcoms. She is still creating, still taking risks, and still finding new ways to connect with audiences. Between 2025 and 2026, she remained one of the busiest actresses of her generation. In Operation Aunties 2025 for all BLK, she stepped into the role of Sharon alongside Melissa D'Souza and Amaya Scott in an action comedy centered on a group of women who become vigilantes fighting cybercrime. The project allowed her to blend humor, confidence, and strength in a fresh way. She also took on the role of Val in Be Happy 2026, a Lifetime film directed by Gabore Sidibe and co-starring Mekhi Phifer. The story explores healing, relationships, and personal renewal, themes that feel especially meaningful given Tisha's own journey. At the same time, she continued appearing as Odette in The Lowdown, and returned as Sheila Jackson in Season 5 of The Ms. Pat Show. But acting is only part of the story. In recent years, Tisha has embraced stand-up comedy with the same fearlessness that defined her acting career decades ago. Her 2026 Damn Gina comedy tour has taken her to cities including Chandler, New Orleans, and Atlanta, introducing audiences to a side of her personality that is raw, spontaneous, and deeply personal. There is something powerful about watching someone reinvent themselves after spending more than 50 years in the entertainment industry. Many people become afraid of change. Tisha seems energized by it. Speaking on Today in July 2025, she reflected on this chapter of her life by saying, "I'm just in a place where I am making choices for me." She also described 2026 with two simple words: it's a rebirth. That is the best way to describe where Tisha Campbell stands today. With a successful comedy tour, multiple acting projects, a new book titled The A Word arriving in September 2026, and a renewed sense of purpose, she has proven that passion does not fade with age. If anything, it grows stronger. Perhaps that is the lesson her journey leaves behind. Life may not always give us the family, the marriage, or the future we once imagined, but resilience, self-respect, and hope can help us build something beautiful anyway. What are your thoughts on Tisha Campbell's journey? Which part of her story inspired you the most?